She noticed the empty space before she noticed anything else. The driveway had always been slightly too narrow for comfort. Parking the SUV required a small adjustment of mirrors, a careful alignment with the cracked line of concrete that divided their side from the neighbors. It had become muscle memory over the past year. Pull in, straighten, engine off, bag over shoulder. Now there was only concrete. For a moment, her mind reached for simple explanations. Street cleaning, towing. Maybe her father had needed to move it. The thoughts came calmly, methodically, as if her brain were protecting itself from arriving too quickly at the obvious. Inside, the television was on. Afternoon talk shows, low volume. The familiar smell of coffee gone slightly stale. Her father sat at the kitchen table. He looked up, saw her expression, and smiled. Not concerned, not confused, amused. You looking for something? She set her bag down. Where's my car? The smile widened into a laugh, not cruel, not angry. Casual, almost indulgent. Oh, that. He waved a hand. We gave it to Lucas. The words landed strangely, without immediate meaning. Gave. As if it were a spare chair, an unused appliance. What? He needed it. Another laugh. You've got work, you manage, he's the man of the family. There was no dramatic surge of emotion. No spike of rage. What came instead was a slow, spreading clarity, like cold water filling a glass. It wasn't really about the car. It was about something older, heavier, impossibly familiar. Lucas drifting between jobs. Lucas borrowing money. Lucas being figured out soon. Lucas always temporarily on the verge of stability. Lucas being protected. Her father continued speaking, still relaxed, still entertained by what he seemed to view as overreaction waiting to happen. You're making that face again. It's just a vehicle. Just. She pulled out a chair and sat. The room felt oddly still, as if the house itself were listening. Does he still have that suspended license? The laughter stopped. It didn't explode into anger. It didn't escalate. It simply ended. Her father's expression shifted, subtly but unmistakably, amusement draining into something tighter, more uncertain. That's not your concern. It kind of is. He's handling it. She nodded slowly. Then she reached for her phone. The movement was small, unremarkable, but it changed the air in the room. Don't be ridiculous. She didn't answer. There was something almost peaceful about the act of dialing. No trembling fingers. No theatrics. Just a sequence of numbers pressed with quiet precision. Her father stood. You're not seriously. I am. You'd call the police on your own family. She met his eyes. You already decided it wasn't my car. Silence stretched between them, thin and sharp. He tried to recover the earlier tone, but it didn't quite return. This is unnecessary. She said nothing. Because there was nothing left to negotiate. The officers arrived with procedural neutrality, not dramatic, not aggressive. 2 uniforms, measured steps. Professional expressions, questions asked in steady voices. Whose vehicle? Registration. Permission. License status. Facts stripped of emotion. Lucas's name carried no weight here. No history. No inherited authority. Just another entry in a system that didn't recognize family hierarchies. Her father attempted explanations, his voice moving between irritation and strained confidence. There's been a misunderstanding. It's a family matter. He had permission. But paperwork has a way of clarifying reality. And databases are immune to sentiment. The shift was gradual yet absolute. Tone softened, posture changed, words chosen more carefully. By the time Lucas was contacted, the situation no longer belonged to the kitchen, the driveway, or the private logic of their household. It belonged to something larger, colder, indifferent. An officer explained the implications of driving with a suspended license, explained liability, explained unauthorized transfer of property, explained consequences. No raised voices, no spectacle, just structure. After they left, the house felt different, not quieter, smaller. Her father sat back down, but the earlier ease was gone, replaced by a restless tension that seemed to have nowhere to settle. You didn't have to do that. She picked up her bag. I didn't. This could have been handled. It was. You embarrassed him. She paused at the doorway. No, she said gently. Reality did. For a second, something flickered across his face, not quite anger, not quite regret, something more complicated, harder to name. But she didn't wait to examine it. Because some recognitions don't require discussion. Outside, the driveway was still empty, yet it no longer felt like absence. Just space, neutral, unclaimed. She stood there for a moment, breathing in the cool air, feeling neither victorious nor shaken. Only steadied. Certain lines once crossed do not invite repair, they simply redraw the map. And dignity, she was learning, rarely announces itself with noise. Most often, it arrives quietly, in decisions, in boundaries, in the calm refusal to participate in someone else's version of fairness.